Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'd like to talk about 7 games which I think deserve a modern port, a remaster, or some other modification to the game that would make it better for modern times, right? Not trying to say any of these games are poor as it is. I'm just saying that it would be nice to have more availability in a new generation to experience these games just like, and people in the past did. So one of the games would be Tenku Wrath of the Heaven. I know that the series has had more modern releases, and then the same thing with Ninja Gaiden. I think that Wrath of the Heaven was a good, solid, fun game, and I think really you would need maybe just a graphical update and control update for that series. I think really it's pretty good as is, just a little bit more modernized. I think that could definitely add a lot, and I would like to see the Tenku series come back. I don't think it will, but with the success of games like Origami 2, I think you may have a chance of that on PC at least, so that'd be nice to see. Tenku Wrath of the Heaven's a good game, and then there's also the Tenku game on PlayStation, which is pretty good too. That would be awesome to have a more modern version of. So, number 2, I guess on this list would be Metal Gear Solid 3. This game is a classic, probably the best in the series. It would be nice to see maybe like a little bit more upgraded graphics and a little bit better controls, but other than that, the game I think is pretty flawless. There is some issues like when you're fighting, what's his name? I think it's the Heaven. It's the guy who, the old dude with the sniper rifle hangs out in the bushes. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but it would be nice to see a little bit more modern UI with that, because that was a little bit tricky fighting him back in the day. But other than that, I mean, the game is pretty awesome. It would be nice to see it, a little bit modernized and brought to PC. So that game is probably the least needing of a update on here, but I thought I would include it. Okay, number 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This game obviously is classic, probably the best in the Marvel vs. Capcom series by far. I think that game, if you could port that to a modern system, maybe update it a little bit in fidelity, maybe add some new music, I think it'd be perfect, So I would love to see that available on PC, because the physical copies of that game, because it's such a classic game, just are not easily found. I mean, they're over probably $75, $80 even for the PlayStation 2 version, so which apparently the Dreamcast version is the best one of it, according to the folks who at B online, but I don't know. I think MVC2 would be amazing to have on modern consoles. Number 4 is Way of the Samurai. I think the whole series, really. I mean, I think maybe you make it a little bit more, controller friendly, and you update the graphics. And I think those games are excellent. Single player games. I think that the style of it, the dueling and so on, and the story mode are just excellent. It has a lot of really strong themes to it. And it kind of is sort of related to my next game I'm going to talk about. So, number 5, which this will probably not happen because of some of the controversial elements of it, but it would be nice to have Red Dead Revolver. I think you could do a remaster of that game, and that would really help it. It's silly. You beat up like random dudes in the street. You're basically revenging your family who's murdered, and you were left alive, and so you go and bounty hunt, and basically any trope you can think of in a Western is going to be in this game. It also has a lot of great music too. So yeah, it would be nice to see a remaster of Red Dead Revolver now. In this current climate, I don't think it'll happen, but it would be nice. Even if it had a substantial mod, that would be very excellent. So let's see. Number 6, Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is a strange game because it is very modern, but it can't run on modern consoles and modern PCs easily. It's basically stuck in the Windows 7 time period where you really have to go through a lot of loopholes just to play the game. And frankly, I think that it's a game that also where the single player is probably weaker than the DLC, which is kind of odd, but I think if you put a fresh coat of paint on that, I think you could release the game, upgrade it just a little bit, maybe make it 4K, and then maybe add maybe change a little bit with the DLC, and like integrate it more into the game, and I think it'd be pretty good. I mean, I don't think you'd have to do a lot. I think people would buy, if you released Fallout 3 content with a slightly updated version, I think people would buy it just so the opportunity to play new content, because there is kind of a dissatisfaction in the Fallout community right now because of the issues with Fallout 76. Now, I know that some of them have been resolved, but a lot of people feel that when like Fallout 4 came out, a lot of RPG elements were taken out, myself including, and it was more replaced with building simulator, which I know some people like that, but personally I'd prefer more story-rich RPG elements. I want to use stats. I don't want to just be told, oh, this is a stat, here's a picture. It's like, it'd be nice to actually be able to do the numbers a little bit more, but of course it's not for everybody. It's obviously inspired by a lot of the open world building games that were coming out during 2015 or so. So it would be nice to see Fallout 3 brought back. I mean, the kind of work that has been done to, for example, Fallout New Vegas kind of like indicates that there's definitely an audience for that kind of thing. And number 7, the last one, which there's actually a 4th game coming out very soon of this, is Skate 2. Now, Skate 2 in particular, I think had a really good balance. I think the game was really fun on Xbox 360, for example. I think that Skate 2 has a lot of potential to be modded. I think it has a lot of potential to enhance too, and I think it's very simple fun. And I think we see with the success of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater remakes that there's definitely a market for, skateboarding games, especially older ones I should say, and that I think you could just maybe upgrade the graphics. It'd be interesting to see more content. Now, this is coming from someone who didn't play Skate 3 a lot, but I think that, the game as itself holds its own, because there are definitely gameplay differences between the two. So, all right, thanks for listening, everybody. I just wanted to make a quick video, just some thoughts, and have a nice day.